right, let me take you straight into the craziest few months my family ever survived, and you tell me if you'd have handled it any different, because I'm still not sure whether to laugh, cry, or pack my bags and head for the mountains. Picture this. You wake up one Saturday to the sweet sound of nothing, birds chirping, sun coming in just right, the kind of morning that makes you grateful for the boring, normal life you're finally getting after years of grinding it out. That was us. My dad, Frank, retired 68, an absolute legend in the garden out there, every dawn with his roses and tomatoes. My son, Sam, 12, stuck on his homework and probably wondering why his dad, that's me, John, always seemed to be gone on business. And on the outside, we looked like every other decent family in the neighborhood, nothing weird, nothing to see, just another slice of the American dream. Yeah, well, that dream died the minute Karen Walsh showed up with her clipboard. Now, if you've never dealt with a Karen in full HOA president mode, let me paint you a picture. She's got that corporate boardroom look. Perfect hair, not a single piece of clothing out of place. Fitness gear that screams, "I've got all day to make your life hell," and a voice that could cut through concrete. She marches up. No good morning, no hey, how you doing? Just, we need to discuss some serious property violations that simply cannot continue. Man, she wanted the whole block to hear it too. Suddenly, every curtain is twitching, people pretending to water their lawns for the third time before 9 a.m., but everyone listening. She whips out a tape measure like she's about to perform a magic trick. Your grass is 3.2 inches. That's a $200 violation. More scribbling. Your car parked 2 inches over the driveway line. $150 fine. Oh, and the gnome my dad's had for 3 years, unauthorized decorative element, that's another $100. She's not just writing tickets, she's building a legal case, and you can see her loving every second. Now, here's the thing about my dad. 30 years of government work made him patient, scary patient. Like, let me pick my words so carefully, you won't know if I'm threatening you or just being nice patient. He keeps his cool, tries to reason with her, but Karen, she's not having it. She cranks up the volume, basically calls us threats to the community. The weirdest part, my dad looks at her and suddenly he's not annoyed, not even angry. He looks, I don't know, like something just clicked. Then Sam comes out and Karen instantly pivots, starts lecturing my kid about community standards. Sam, being 12 and honest as a brick, says, "But Grandpa always follows the rules. He used to work for the government, catching people who broke them." That's when Karen's eyes light up, and for a second I get the creeps. This isn't curiosity, it's like she's interrogating us. And right there, everything tilts. See, Dad and I had our secrets. The business consultant job my neighbors all gossiped about, yeah, not exactly. And my dad, it turns out, wasn't just a government guy. He was the FBI agent who put Karen, whose real name is Linda Ross, away for stealing millions from kids' medical charities 25 years ago. She did 15 years in prison and swore she'd get even. And she moved in next door under a new name, made herself HOA president, and spent years getting every neighbor to trust her. All that just to get us. The night we figured this out, it stopped being about stupid HOA fines and became something way bigger. Turns out Linda Karen had been digging into every detail of our lives, snapping photos, tracking my work schedule, collecting evidence to turn the whole neighborhood against us. She started a campaign on the local Facebook group Family. Claims to be FBI threatening law-abiding neighbors. Beware, with charts and screenshots making us look like the real criminals. She cornered us at the grocery store, at the coffee shop, turning every errand into a public trial. You know what I mean? The level of planning was something I hadn't seen since my own days working financial crimes for the feds. And then the neighborhood started splitting into sides. There were the folks who'd known us for years, confused but still friendly, and the others who fell for Linda's show, suddenly looking at us like we were about to rob them blind. Our friend Betty tried to stay neutral, but even she was starting to doubt. Tom from down the street, the guy I once jump-started in a snowstorm, showed up at Karen's emergency HOA meeting to ask if maybe we were a danger. And just when I thought we'd reached peak insanity, Linda called the cops. She staged the whole thing. 15 neighbors standing in the street with their phones out, Karen smiling like she'd just won the lottery. But my dad didn't wait for the knock. He walked out cool as you please, laid out his FBI credentials, pension records, every official scrap of paper you can imagine. I did the same. Officer Davis, the cop, starts recognizing us not as crooks but as the real deal. The mood in the crowd changes. Karen's voice cracks as she tries to accuse us of faking it, but her story's falling apart. And then my dad drops the bomb. Officer, this woman's real name is Linda Ross. I put her away for embezzling millions from dying children. She swore revenge. She's been running scams in this HOA for years. Man, you could hear a pin drop. Linda absolutely loses it, screaming, confessing, blaming us for ruining her life, and suddenly the neighbors are backing away from her like she's radioactive. Davis arrests her on the spot for harassment, fraud, everything he can pin on her. But the story doesn't end there. Turns out Linda had used her position to run scams all over the state, automatic fee withdrawals, fake improvement projects, even recruiting neighbors to spy for her. When the dust settled, the FBI was involved. $890,000 was returned to victims, and Linda was back in federal prison, this time for a long, long stay. Betty became the new HOA president and completely overhauled how things ran. No more petty fines, just actual community gardening projects, real neighborly help, and people actually talking to each other. You'd think that would be it. Happy ending, right? Nah. A few months later, Dad gets a letter from prison. All it says is, Frank, check your basement. Some games take longer to finish than others. LR. Suddenly, the house we thought was our safe place feels like a chessboard, and Linda might still have a move left. I look at my dad, and for the first time in my life, I see him scared. So that's our story. What would you do if you found out your neighbor was living under a fake identity, plotting revenge for decades? Would you stay and fight, or would you run? Let's hear it. Drop a comment below. Tell me where you're watching from, and if you've ever tangled with a HOA president gone wild. Because trust me, you never really know who's living next door. And sometimes the biggest danger is the one smiling at you from across the lawn.